Okay, in this lecture, we're going to go over what the macro mindset really is. What are we really looking for? And the answer is we're looking for big market themes that are going to play out as trends that we can hop on and ride for huge gains. Okay, so macro trading is big picture investing. Unlike stock investors, you want to look at the most important drivers in the financial markets. So what are central banks doing, for example? Is there a potential crisis event on the horizon? Are interest rates going up or down? We also like to pay attention to large economic releases. And here's a few of those releases here just to give you guys a quick example. Don't worry about knowing exactly what these things mean for the markets, but this is the ISM report. It comes out each month. It lets us know the health and manufacturing sector. Above 50 means, let's get the pen here, above 50 means manufacturing sector is expanding, below contracting, and this is the type of data that a macro guy is going to want to check out. Another example is corporate profit margins as a whole. How's the entire S&P 500 looking as a whole? Not the profit margins of an individual company, but all of them combined. Okay. Another piece of data, U.S. retail sales. How is retail sales as an entire sector changing year over year? Not how well is JCPenney doing, but how is everything doing? And the reason why we look for this huge top line data is they pay so well when the themes play out. So when these themes do play out, they're going to last for multiple years. And writing a multi-year theme can lead to absolutely enormous gains. Here's an example in oil. And you can see the end of the super cycle in oil played out. And that's a theme that started in mid-2014 and still playing out. Okay, so it's multi years where you're holding the same trade and you're playing the same theme and making profits month after month. Here's another example of a theme that started in mid-2014. We had the dollar. Okay, it broke out of this trend line right here and ran really, really hard. It's consolidating now, but the theme is still in play 18 months later. Almost 2 years later at this point. It's important that we look for these things because this is what is really going to pay and make your bottom line. Another example is the QE3 stock market boom. And you don't need to understand exactly what QE3 is. It's just a particular theme. I'm illustrating and showing you guys that themes is what creates these huge trends. This entire uptrend was built on this theme of QE3 pushing investors out on the risk curve into stocks. Okay, so just remember that this entire move was made of a theme after it broke this high right here. So the macro trader's not really interested in a little company's story, all right? If it's going to go into stocks, it's going to use stocks as a way to express a macro theme instead. So, for example, this is how a global macro trader would approach a certain situation in equities. So say, for example, China's starting a huge infrastructure and spending program. They really want to ramp up their stimulus, and it requires a lot of oil to build all these bridges and all these roads and all these buildings. So a global macro trader is going to go out and search for oil stocks or maybe cement stocks or something that's going to greatly benefit from this huge macro infrastructure spending program. You're always looking at the very top line data. If you're taking a top-down approach, not a bottom-up approach.